Yesterday I said that we should expect some seasons of doubt. Today I want to help you frame your doubt in the right way because I think it's important to understand our doubts and to understand that our doubts are often as much a spiritual issue as they are an intellectual one. These are, I realize, those are fighting words for some, but I think they come out of what Asaph says in verse 3. I envy the arrogant. He's dealing with some emotional issues or some spiritual issues as well as intellectual ones. I used C.S. Lewis yesterday. I use C.S. Lewis a lot. In his book, The Great Divorce, he has this scene in which two academics are having a conversation in heaven. So one is got on this bus. That's the whole premise. These waif-like creatures that are being destroyed in hell get on this bus, and they take the bus to heaven. And there's an opportunity for them. This is obviously a fictional account. There's an opportunity for them to come to faith and to stay in heaven, but they don't, and it's complicated. It's fascinating. But anyway, this discussion between the two academics, the one who had been an atheist and is now obviously not an atheist and he's in heaven, he says to the other one, look, you're not here because you won't believe. And the one says, well, I can't believe. I have these intellectual doubts. And the one who had been an atheist but is now in heaven says, well, let's be honest. Not all of our intellectual doubts were intellectual. Some of them were more emotional or spiritual, or they were because of pride. And he goes on to say, we had reasons to not want to believe. Because there are big implications of believing that God is God and that we are not our own and that we are, there's a law that we've got to obey and all that. So he goes down this idea that a lot of times our doubts are not purely intellectual. So Asaph explores that a little bit, and I just want to note this, that we should be alert to the fact that our heart often influences our head, right? That we are choosing intellectually not to believe because we don't want these things to be true. Jonathan Haidt writes about this relationship in one of his books where he talks about the fact that there's a rider on an elephant. The rider is the brains, and the rider is in control of the elephant, which is the heart, until the elephant decides it wants to go in a different direction. And then the elephant is going to do what the elephant wants to do. So, look, I just want to note two things here as we think about Psalm 73. One is that we need to play defense. We need to put on the armor of God. We need to be prepared to be attacked. We need to learn how not to feed our doubts, how to doubt our doubts, to not obsess over them. But we also need to play offense. And this is what we get here in verse 17. Asaph is saying, I envied the arrogant. I was really frustrated until, verse 17, until I came into the sanctuary of God. So he's frustrated with God. He's doubting. He's going through a difficult spiritual season of dryness. But he does the right offensive thing. He takes himself into the temple. And so I want to say, if you are doubting God, especially if you are doubting God, keep praying, keep showing up, keep reading the Bible, keep hanging out with Christian friends. Oftentimes, your friends can sort of loan you some of their faith and can pull you along in the right direction. So the Asaph says that when I was trying to figure all this out, the prosperity of the wicked, when I was trying to make sense of life, work through intellectually my doubts, I couldn't understand it. It was oppressive to me until I entered the sanctuary of God. So if you're struggling with doubt, especially if you're struggling with doubt, keep showing up at church, keep going to small group, keep reading the Bible, keep praying, be honest with God. I'm doubting, I'm frustrated, I'm confused. And doubt your doubts as well. Most importantly, Psalm 73 would say, keep praying. Have a good day.